This is Titanium Court. New game. A man steps onto a stage and taps a microphone. Good evening! Before we begin the game, I have a few announcements. First, due to unexpected circumstances, the part of the player will be performed by an understudy. A couple of audible groans from the muffled boo erupt from the audience. Now, there's no need for that. This kid may not be a star yet, but I've seen her rehearse, and I can guarantee that she'll impress you. She may not have the time to memorize any of her lines, but well, neither of any of you, the audience laughs. Second, we will warn you that this production features a significant amount of obscenity. But before all the participants in the audience begin covering their children's ears, know this! The stage is enchanted, such that the obscenities can only be heard by those of sufficient emotional maturity to handle hearing them. And finally, the writing room would like to issue an apology for failing to complete the script before this performance. They are working on it as I speak, so it's my pleasure to introduce that tonight's performance is also a race. Who will win? The writers furiously working to finish the script or the performers attempting to perform it? I can't answer that question, but I now can announce that that race begins now. Go! We hope you enjoyed the game. Where should we start? You are walking through the woods. Oh shit! Okay, I walked through woods and then the world around you shattered. It's both an alarming and inconvenient. Isolated on a lone stretch of ground, you were transfixed as the broken landscape began to rearrange itself. Your eyes followed at trees and hills, collapsing in the lines of three, as if the forest you knew were not becoming carefully entangled. You dared not to move from your position as the ground beneath your feet quivered in anticipation of a shattering further. As you pass time for who knows how long. It's just Bejeweled. Or a castle, until the court slid into view. At first, you weren't sure you could trust your eyes, but then there it was. A great, shining structure among the rolling landscape, something stable and enclosed, a shelter. You kept your eyes on it, hoping it would draw close enough that you might peer inside its windows. And just as it came near, the shattered landscape lurched. With little warning, the forest snapped back together as if someone had pulled the knot of reality tight once again. Except now, it wasn't the forest you knew. It was hardly even a forest. You stood, stretched, and began to hike towards the court. Hooray! AP Thompson presents. Later, while the sun hovered low over the horizon, there was a feast within the walls of the court. Hoping to avoid any attention, you sought out a more isolated part of the hall. An empty table, near an exit where no one could pay you such mind. A sound plan, except... oh my god, there's so many fucking people. The hall was soon overflowing with people, and your table was no exception. The young man seated to your right began engaging you in idle conversation. The weather, how you found the meal, the role of the individual in society, how you preferred to make your bed, these sorts of subjects. Eventually, he inquired about how you came to arrive at the court, which answers my question quite thoroughly while raising many more, he says, as you conclude your tale. But forgive me, you haven't actually finished your story, have you? You admit there is a bit more, though you haven't yet to make sense of it. The people within the court were earnest but odd. After your arrival, you attempted to get some answers about your whereabouts and the strange circumstances outside, except they spoke mostly in riddles and nonsense, didn't they? They did. Let's find out where you are. A man rested on the table, a man resting in the shade of the wall, a woman in a helmet doing her taxes, at a picnic table, a pair front of A blackboard discussing magic. A small cat bathing in the sun atop the walls. I'm talking to the cat. Hello, kitten. A small cat. Meow. Ah, your questions are numerous but inconsequential. They overlook the current crisis. Meow. What crisis? Why? The crisis whereabouts my dinner is late. Meow. It's so late, in fact, that I'm not certain that the concept of dinner isn't something I invented in a fuge of hunger. All other societal issues are more trivialities in comparison to my plight. Please, stranger, might you fill my bowl, thus ending this ravenous standoff? A woman behind you laughed. Oh, don't listen to him. He's been fed twice today already. Next, you. Hold on. Are you seriously going to tell me about every individual conversation you had in excruciating detail? Yes. Yes, you are, because if he lets you proceed uninterrupted, he'll learn that many of these people played a part in what happens next. Fine, fine. Find out where am I. I've talked to the kitten. Let's talk to the people playing magic. What the fuck's going on? This is amazing so far. There appeared to be a seminar of some sort taking place in the courtyard. A seminar on magic, if you understood the text on the blackboard correctly. Okay, so first, you take a metaphor and then you stretch it really, really thin, right? Right. Like really thin. So thin you forget its original purpose and then you inflate it. Right, just inflate the metaphor. I prefer to use my lungs for that. Then, so as it's inflating, you twist like, hang on, so it's, are you still following? I think so. Hold on. Ta-da! There, now resembles a dog, a delight for children and such. Ah, okay, so what happened to the metaphor? It's a lovely little balloon dog now. I see. They seem a bit busy, so you left them to it. Find out where you are. A woman in a helmet doing her taxes. A man resting on the shade of the wall. Taxes, lady! Said the woman. I would love to tell you where you are, friend, but I haven't figured out quite where we aren't. She gestured to the stack of maps on the table, behind the wall. We're not in any of these places. Or at least we weren't. Who knows if that's true or now that the tides come in. You attempted another tactic, hoping to glean some information. Perhaps she could tell you at least the name of this place. Oh! Well, we call it the court. Its full name is the Court of, I forget, but it's something like the Court of Aluminium. But it starts with a T. The Court of Tungsten? I don't know, maybe. But I'm new here and bad with names. But at least I can give you mine. I'm Robin. She held out a hand, which you shook as you introduced yourself. Now, if you excuse me, I should try to sort this out before the tide sets in. Let's find where you are. All right, men at the wall. Said the man. Whoa, pal, before you ask me any more questions, you gotta know my deal. My deal is that I can only answer questions you haven't asked. So, as to where we are, no can do, sorry, can't tell you. But what we're doing, oh man, we're in a court of fairies on a quest to find our missing queen. He looked to both sides and then said, so let me know if you see her. Just don't ask me where she is. So what now? What did the outside of the court look like from atop the walls? All right, let's have a look. Finding no immediate answers inside the court, you moved to the top of the walls and looked outward. Perhaps there was something you could see from this vantage that would shed more light on the situation. To the contrary, conditions outside the walls were even stranger than they were at the time of your arrival. The rest of the shattered landscape had now melted away. The court stood alone amid a void. But not for long. Like a rush of water, new surroundings began to surround. Much of the new topography was familiar to you. You could identify fields, water, woods, and hills. But there was something else to see. A menacing group of other courts were also a part of the landscape. You were not alone, noticing that someone shouted, "The war! The war is here!" Someone else. That can't be, Puck said. No wars until we find the queen. And perhaps we should explain to them. The surrounded enemy villages on all sides bereft of an obvious course of action. The people of the court began to pray. A man stepped forward and offered the first prayer. I genuinely wish no harm upon our enemy. I merely prayed that they would fade into obscurity. A man stepped forward and offered the first prayer. I genuinely wish no harm upon our enemy. Wow, I didn't expect that to work, but thanks. The woman named Robin offered the next prayer. My notes are quite clear on this prayer. Does not work. Our time is much better spent on shearing the court. Remember, the soldiers cannot cross water. We should try and take shelter behind the moat until the tide comes in. Now that this river protects us from nearly half of that field. Hills should also slow their advance, so for my next prayer... But the next prayer did not belong to Robin. The next prayer belonged to the cat. Meow. So long as we're making demands of God, then my wish, as ever, is to be fed. Oh, so I'm getting food by doing that. Meow. So as long as we're making demands, I wish for food. Psst, hey. You probably didn't notice, but something just happened over here. Similarly to the other parts of the battlefield, can be matched to earn water, wood, or gold. None of these fairies in the court will tell you this. Their religion forbids them from acknowledging the existence of the user interface. But I'm a scacular tooltip. I fear no god, but I'll do my best to provide you with this vital information. Thank you. You're welcome. Oh, thank you, tooltip. Yes, more of that, please. More food for you. Robin bemoaned the loss of the moat, and we face even more of the enemy than before. Why do I bother? The scholars of the blackboard now chimed in. We've identified the most strategically sound location. This spot right here. If we shear over there, we should be fine. But Robin interjected, stop, look at the clock, it's almost low tide. We have time left for only one more move. Hello again! So the clock and the time left, Robin alludes to, is the fact that there is an unassuming progress bar at the edge of your vision. Much like life, every move you make will deplete some of your remaining time. If we only have one prayer left, what do we ask for? We should pray for a miracle. Well, that's a start. Apologies, but another explanation from me, but your humble tooltip is in order. The previous move had multiple matches. Because of this, you have earned some bonus time. For the fairies of the court, this might be a miracle. Is there any other chance we could do that again? Whatever that was. Multiple? But there was no such chance. The next prayer would be the last one. Incidentally, the next prayer belonged to you. Unsure of what this really meant, you mediated the people around you to make a pointless decision. Cool. The battlefield snapped together. The court snapped to attention. Places everyone. This is very interesting. Windows were shuttered. Doors were slammed. Throngs of people emerged from inside to form a line near the gates. Windows were shuttered, doors were slammed. Okay, so everyone's like going up to the gates. A tap on your shoulder. One of these scholars, we could help in the dressing room if you have a free hand. Along with these scholars introduced you to the hop and skip. You sorted through a large pile of costumes, props, and weapons. Check the tag on that, would you? Make sure I put everything together properly. Click and hold. Hold, hold. Farmer. Working fairy gathers food from fields. Soldier, offensive fairy, attacks the enemy. It looks great. Feel free to hand it out. Click to use. You handed the bundle of farmer's apparel to the first person in line. Unperturbed by the idea of harvesting wheat in the middle of battle, they whistled as they marched to the front gate. Do it again. Deploy another farmer. Now you see this one fits anybody. Click and hold. Hold. Soldier. Click to use. You handed a bundle of armor and weapons to the next person in line. She tested the weight of the weapon in her hand. I haven't received any training, so I'm just planning to hit anything that doesn't belong to us. After this minimal preparation, the scholars considered their work finished. I'd place our chances of survival somewhere between abysmal, but I'm afraid this is the best we can do. A small mercy, at least, that the Queen isn't here to witness this. And so, you waited with the others for the battle to commence. Hello, I must pester you one more time before I take my leave. Observe this undo button before, use it to change your mind as many times as you wish before starting the battle. However, the official editorial position of this tooltip is that you are liable to lose no matter how many times you can change your mind presently. When you're ready to play, use the play button to proceed the battle. Now I will leave you in peace. I'll just play. But should you ever desire the company of your loyal tooltip, all you need to do is click and hold over any button or tile and I'll do my best to explain it for you. Thank you, tooltip. Commence the battle. Commence the battle! So this dude goes out here and he just farms and kind of hangs out. Then we have one dude attacking. Oh, these are bringing food in. And we have people coming down and they're attacking my castle. So I'm definitely gonna lose is what's gonna happen. That's what the tooltip told me. I was gonna lose 100%, regardless. Okay. Oh, I have one of them. And then, sometime later, as the sun hovered low on the horizon, there was a feast within the walls of the court. A man to your left is beside himself with laughter. Okay, so our court, caught off guard by a sudden war, stumbled behind enemy lines, made a token attempt at resistance, and was summarily, oh god, I can't speak, toppled. Do I have that right? Yes, and does that appear to be accurate summary? Well then, I'm certainly glad I slept through that. As you look at your surroundings, a switch flips in your mind. Your own story makes little sense now that you think of it. How did your companion pet your arm? Don't worry about it. If our court couldn't withstand physical destruction, we wouldn't last 5 minutes in the pull of the tide. But enough of that. It's about time I made some introductions. As you've narrowly avoided hearing, this is a place called the Titanium Court. Meanwhile, I have the honor of being the steward of the court. My name is Puck, although my lovers and enemies call me Goodfellow. I'm a chief advisor for the friend eternal, our fair queen. As fancy as that sounds, in practice it means he's unemployed. One of the scholars, the man named Hop, has approached to your table. He appears to have found a drink or two, or four. He pulls up a seat between the two of you and assumes a jovial attitude. Guess the queen stood up there, Goodfellow. Lucky for her, I'd say. I'd skip town too if I knew what sorry showing the court would make. But on the plus side, we can continue draining her wine cellar. Now we're gonna help me with that, Goodfellow, or are you just gonna stare at me? I don't mind either way. Puck, staring at the scholar, mouth agape, slowly inhales and pinches his nose. What fools these. How drunk are you, Hop? The queen is right here. We've been speaking to her for the entire feast. An excited hush falls over the entire hall. Hop blinks, looks at you, looks at Puck, turns bright red. Huh? Oh, I see it now. That calls for Her Majesty's finest vintage. I'll be back. As Hop makes a quick exit, you look steadily at Puck and shake your head. There's no denying it now, not after the tale you told me. If you like more proof, just take a look at where you were seated. You slowly take in your surroundings. What a twist. Puck smiles. Now if I may conclude my introductions, let me present the court to your majesty. And likewise, he stands up and addresses the entire hall as he says, long absent, the Queen of Titanium Court, always a stranger, has arrived. Cheers erupt and the dessert is served. Oh, cinema! To your left, Hop returned with an armful of glasses and bottles. And about time too, Goodfellow. Did you tell her about the war yet? Chapter 1. A place beloved only of clowns and criminals. And then, just a short while after the feast, the court returns to war. You're in charge of the war now, Your Majesty. You should be fine. Just remember everything we taught you about magical warfare. Blinking slowly, you remind them that this exact moment they have taught you roughly nothing about magical warfare. Ah, good. She remembers quite clearly. High tide. While the field is broken, arrange it to your advantage. Consult the ever-changing map. Inspect your available units. You don't know what any of this means. Okay, so this game's ridiculously epic, right? Stump, a seat announcing the beginnings of Soapbox Natural World. So I want to be I want food. I want to be surrounded by water, and I want to get rid of as many of these as possible. Very interesting. Do we have any other epic moves here, guys? Have some food. Wow, big move. All right. Low tide. Make preparations for the coming battle. Commence the battle! Alright, so I have these guys going out to farm while I smack these trees. Boom! Bring in the food, bitch. Oh, because none of these castles had warriors, I just smack people and it's free. Bring in the food, quick, you idiot farmer guys. Shh, stop the battle. Well, having now achieved some kind of victory in the war, you wonder if someone in the court might help you return home. It'd be our pleasure if you can show us the way. Also, that was only one battle. There are many more to come, if my notes are to be trusted. Okay, well, if you understand this map correctly, even if it was a map, there appears to be some sort of signature just ahead. Perhaps if you can reach those signs, you'll learn more about where you actually are, along with how to get home. To reach this, and we need to merely step forward when the tide has been cleared along. How convenient. High tide. While the field is broken, arrange it to your advantage. Storage unit. Looks like you've rented in the past. Is there anything that I can move here? Yeah. Sweet! What a move! There is still like 4 baddies that are to come, and they're all up here. It's bringing them kind of closer together. I'm pretty safe right now. Low tide, make preparations for battle. Take a look inside the storage unit? Yeah, open it. You're quite curious to find out what you find inside the storage unit, but it's locked. Okay. Commence the battle. Okay, so I have 3 against their 4, but they have to cross like water and shit to get to me. So I'm kind of sound. Topple them over. Lovely. Interesting. Wait, so are the enemy courts empty? You've noticed some subtle difference between some sort of the enemy courts on the battlefield. While enemy courts have soldiers predominantly stationed in their gates, there are plenty of them that appear completely empty. You think that you can assume that these empty ones will not attack during the upcoming battle. Yes, you can assume that. Additionally, you can see when the enemy soldiers will attack the court over time. Even soldiers that might be a threat, you can deal with their courts before they attack you. Oh, I see. You can like hover to see who's actually going to attack. That's kind of nifty. What is that? A pumpkin, a plant possessing a friendly face. I need to get rid of some of these courts, man. Holy fuck. Alright, I put myself next to this pumpkin. I don't know what it does. Prepare for battle! Maybe I shouldn't go so hard, but... See if any of these guys can bring in any food. They do have mountain ranges behind them. I don't know if I'll be able to get much food. No, we have food. We're fine. No, my farmers! I'm getting murdered. Stop. Boys, beers, beers, boys, beers. A menacing birdcage suddenly appears in front of the court. Your Majesty, I have notes on this foe. Let me know if you would like to see them. Robin has notes on the birdcage, behaves in battles. Right, so here's what my notes say. At first, low tide, the birdcage will flood surroundings with water. Following that, the birdcage will attack the court with birds. Fighting it will provide tricky if it's always surrounded with water, if the court soldiers are unable to reach it. If you agree, there's another approach the court could take. Either way, you thank Robin for the information. Where am I? Right, I see. Your Majesty, look, there's a chest resting on that pitch of land. We should be able to recover the contents as long as it remains... Okay. So I need to get this somehow. Holy shit, that's a lot of birds. Match. That's a shit ton of birds over there, bro. Low tide begins. The birdcage surrounds itself with a moat. Selection of goods are here for the taking. Bird, offensive winged fairy, unhinged. Cool. Acquisition provides a brief storage. What's this? Gunboat, offensive rock, attacks the enemy via water. Cool. So I'm gonna need a boatman. A boatman. Alright. So we have boat fellas and birds. Holy shit, we did it! We're well defended by our boatmen. I genuinely thought those harpies were going to be much more of a problem. But the boat guys just fucking dealt with them. Claim the wheat, my farmers. Nice, GG. Having escaped the birdcage, the court now arrives at its initial destination. Taking the spyglass to the top of the walls, you see if the sign ahead can give you any clues or directions. Dead end. Oh, I know this one. It's a memento mori. I hear they're popular among mortals. This one is quite simple, perhaps even unrefined. It says dead end, so any mortal who reads it can remember exactly what awaits them at the end. In case they forget. Precisely. Okay, well, where you're from, this sign generally means that you cannot proceed any further. As you say this, I gasp. Her Majesty is right! The court is not facing forward. We've been letting the tide carry us backwards ever since the feast. Okay, well, in that case, how should we go on about correcting this misalignment? The cat responds to the question by falling asleep on your lap. The beast is right. A good night's sleep should return the court to its default state. And so, the court decides to retire early for the day. My glass runneth over. With time, repetition, comes comfort. You feel your maximum level of comfort increase to 1. The next morning you awake in a strange bed. The bed is strange, not because it's not your usual bed, but because it's not the bed you fell asleep in. Puck told you any room within the court might be the Queen's, so if you parted with him at the first room you found that wasn't already... What the fuck? Puck told you any room within the court might be the Queen's, so you parted with him at any... Okay, I'm just skipping. A small chamber beneath the staircase, a twin-sized bedroom, neighbored by a nightstand and a lamp, a small desk in the corner, no windows. Meanwhile, the bed you awake in is a queen size and is contained within a spacious chamber that opens to a balcony. Different room completely. Holy shit. The balcony overlooks the courtyard of your new home. You appear to be roughly 5 stories above the ground. Your bedchambers, what do you use here? Take stock of your possessions. You look over the scant possessions that were in your person when you arrived at the court. Everything appears to be where you left it, with one irritating exception. Somewhere between your arrival and now, you've managed to misplace your keys. In a way, you suppose you also managed to misplace the locks those keys were intended for. A mystery admittedly of the greater concern to you than the missing keys. Your bedchamber, what should you do here? Leave? Yeah. Return to the office, investigate during the dining hall, wait. The man named Puck. I have a lot to say to him. I can't see Puck. Oh, I see Puck. Hey Puck. The man named Puck is just across the courtyard. Perfect, you have many things you wish to ask him. He runs away. As you draw near, he quickly exits the scene. You may be imagining it, but he seems to retreat the moment he saw your approach. What should you do? Return to the office, investigate the dining hall. In the dining hall, what do you see? Grab some breakfast. In the light of day, the feasting hall more closely resembles a common dining area. You collect some breakfast from a buffet, then look for a table. You would prefer to sit somewhere out of the way near an exit, ideally hidden. You sit in the most nondescript location you can find, a corner near a trash can bin. Before you finish to bite, the whole host of fairy courts arrive with their meals and sit with you. They make idle conversation and a few honest attempts at answering your myriad of questions. None of them were successful. As you complete your meal, you idly note, that your table is now the most lively and boisterous table within the hall. You also notice idly that despite his assurances that he would answer all your questions, the man named Puck remains nowhere to be seen. As a result of eating breakfast, you get a small bonus. You get 10 bread. The dining hall, what should you do here? Leave. What should you go to now? Go to war, look out the window, consult the ever-changing map. Let's look out the window. There's some dogs catching frisbees in the courtyard just out of frame. Oh, that one's epic! Neat. Go to war. Go to war once more? Yup. After breakfast, the court goes to war. And you ready yourself a question. Your Majesty, is the intensity of the war to your liking? If not, please feel free to adjust the thermostat. The thermostat makes things a little easier on yourself. Current comfort, 0 out of 1. +1 comfort. With her calculator, return to her. Robin can give you detailed analysis of the battlefield. Start with extra bread. Start with 2 thorns. Enemy units will take damage if they attack your court. Start with extra 10 water. Yeah, 10 water. You get 10 water. Sweet. Okay, then, so you can be certain that the court is facing the correct direction this time. Of course, Your Majesty. Observe the sun is now rising rather than setting. Very well, as you're supposed to attempt to reach those signs again. Although you doubt you'll find anything useful. This game is so interesting, dude. High tide. While the field is broken, arrange it to your advantage. It's just like a brilliant take at Bejeweled. Like it's perfection. I want this. Had some really neat stuff last time. There's like no fights happening, but I would like to be really close to wheat, as close as possible to it. So I could just like set a bunch of farms up. So how do I get close to wheat then? There you go. That's how you get close to wheat. Manor of trinkets and resources, keys and toys, open. What do we got? 10. Beautiful. Tell you what I'm gonna do with my battle prepping. We are getting fucking food, boys. Farmers farm. Proceed with the farming. Oh, you can only put 9 max until they go over the hill and far away to get the rest of the food. Yeah, we're food maxing, but I don't know if we're going to be able to bring in the other 9. Get him, man! Yeah, we got some food. Nice. Got a shit ton of food. 57, in fact. Lovely. High tide, arrange the battlefield. I need water now. That I used all of it in the last encounter. A tap on your shoulder, Robin points out building in the distance. Your Majesty, that shop 5 is neutral to the conflict. We should strongly consider stocking up on supplies. Of course, if it only stays in view, if it disappears before low tide, we'll have to wait until we pass another one. Okay. Interesting. So is getting rid of it bad? I think it might be, you know? No. Exchange goods and services at the shop. You can call the shop to learn about what they have for sale. However, before you can proceed, the voice says, understand how money works. Do you understand how money works? No. You thought you understood a lot of things before your world shattered, and now you might as well understand nothing. Whoa, I don't need your life story, ma'am. I just make sure you know where money comes from. Let me explain. First thing you gotta know is money doesn't come from. You're probably getting used to stuff like these randomly during high tide, right? That's not gonna work for money. Instead, money is by doing your job. You do have a job, right? Oh, come on, I have caller ID, you know. I know that you're fancy fairy queen of the fairy queen fighting court in a fancy fairy war. That's totally a job. Have more confidence. So anyway, fairy queens usually earn gold by defeating their enemy on the battlefield. Just knock down those and money will pop up. There you go. Welcome to the shop. Interesting. Let's just spawn 3 of those and call it a day. Nice, so we have 5 gold. Brilliant. Is that a billboard in the middle of the battlefield? Look, it's true. There appears to be a billboard of some sort among the scattered elements of the terrain. You look at the outer walls of the court to get a better look. You need law. That thing gives me the creeps, Your Majesty, if we're about to be sued by just looking at it. You agree, it might be best to look away and draw some unwanted legal attention. Billboard helpfully informs you of any available goods and services. Interesting. These guys need to go. Announce the structure into the wave of view. You suppose this is another... Look, Your Majesty! Temple of Market! You should wish to pay your respects. You only need stay in view until low tide, correct? Correct, your brilliance begins to blind. Check the market. Market forbids trading during high tide, but there are prices nonetheless. There's a lot of water. Get rid of those guys before they can spawn more stuff. These guys are a worry. This side I'm not that worried about. Get some more food in this business. Holy shit. Trade water at market prices. Ah, okay. Let's prep. Let's get some farmers going, 3 of them. And a bunch of these guys. Let's go. Alright, they smack. One's dead. Oh, my battlers are gone. Oh, it doesn't matter. Hopefully I can get this other town for 1 more gold and then we can call it. Yeah! They do sound like Pikmin a little bit. And now the core finds itself surrounded by catapults. To be perfectly precise, those appear to be trebuchets. Given that the trebuchet is a subcategory of catapult, don't you see the reason why you can't just call them catapults? Very well, my queen. I retreat in the face of your overflowing wisdom. That's a lot of catapults. Catapult matches with all the... So it hits a rock, it hits a rock, it flies, it hits a rock. So the catapults are fucked by rocks. A strange building comes into view. As you observe, the phone in your office rings. Oh yeah, hey, Titanium Court, Majesty, I'm calling from the glass house. Yeah, we sell potions. As they suggest, we firmly oppose the act of throwing stones in any sort of forms. Therefore, we'd like to offer our full support to the Titanium Court in campaign against those stone-throwing trebuchets. To start, here's a pro tip. Free of charge, hills will block projectiles fired by catapults. Just surround your court with hills and you'll be safe. And if that doesn't work, we sell a variety of instant use potions that can help you deal with this threat. Give us a call sometime, we'll be happy to help. Interesting. So we need hills. While also just trying to get rid of the trebuchets in general. So I'm fucked on this one. Brilliant. Couldn't have planned it better myself. Huh. I need to buy some stuff. This potion can make mounds out of molehills and other terrain. You want to set something on fire? Yes. So set that one on fire. That won't be able to hit me. That won't be able to hit me. That will. And then I need to buy a... Done. So that's on fire, so I won't be able to do anything now. Or will it? I actually genuinely don't know. So I'll get one of these guys to hopefully kill it before it starts. And then I'm safe. Nice. Easy. The catapults continue their assault, although you note that there are now significantly fewer of them hanging around. Significantly fewer, there's heaps, bro. I'm pretty safe now. Oh yeah, I'm fine. Let's get some fucking... Let's get some farmers out, bro. We're chilling. Easy food day. The tide washes away the last of the catapults. You appear to have weathered the storm. The threat of the catapults now eliminated. The glass house pulls into the next court and you receive another phone call. The salesman offers congratulations for your victory and asks if there's any further assistance you might provide. You answer immediately, asking if he knows a way for you to return home. Oh, definitely. Let's pull over somewhere and I'll draw you a map. The salesman shows you the map and explains the directions. Okay, so you've seen this before, right? You have, but no one thus far has offered an explanation of any of it. You were sure it was some sort of map. It's kind of is, but it changes every day. So I'd say it's more of a weather report. But it's pretty simple. Each one of these rows is a battle. Within a given row, each column is a battlefield. Do you follow? No, you don't. Nah, you'll figure it out. But more importantly, you know that you can choose 3 potential battlefields before every battle. No, you did not know that. Anyway, here's where you're at right now, smack in the middle of the wall. To get home, first you're going to have to make it to the victory, which is right up. Before or after the dragon? After the dragon, of course. But making it to the end isn't enough. After that, you'll need to make an exit. Make an exit. Given the abstract nature of movement through the tide, would he be willing to elaborate on that? Oh yeah, it's confusing, right? These routes were conjured back in the 60s. Everyone was hopped up on an allegory or something. Around here, making an exit means you're got to consistently leave the path you're on. You know, like you got to fundamentally change as a person. Okay. This might be a long shot, but he does have this might be a long shot, but does he have any specific advice for how you might do that? Preferably in a safe and non-traumatizing way. And do I ever, Your Majesty? That's our speciality. He sweeps his arms back to reveal a shelf of bottles under a marquee that reads Love Potions. Hey, Sportive, what's up? Is he attempting to make a joke? Not at all. Nothing changes a person more than love. Okay, you take a deep breath. If his love potions function like those described in stories, i.e. forcing an individual to fall in love with a person they otherwise have no interest in, then you have absolutely no interest in them. Your Majesty, with all due respect, that's messed up. I don't sell anything like that. You've been hearing some weird rumors, huh? I blame my competition. Please let me set the record straight. My potions cannot create love from nothing. They merely expand the love that already exists within you. Seeing your shoulder relax a bit, he continues with his pitch. Now, if you're new to love potions, I definitely recommend starting small. He pulls his potion off the shelf, like this one, full of love for something called baseball. This one's great for beginners. The effects are really mild. Drink it and you'll end up liking this baseball just a bit more than you already do. That's it. You suppose that does sound relatively harmless. If he also thinks it will help you return home, you might as well give it a shot. Perfect. Oh, come on, put your wallet away. I'm not going to charge you for it. Just take it. And so you return to the court with a new map of the war and a single complimentary potion of liking baseball. Interesting. And now you have a certain idea of what you're looking at here. Based on what the salesman told you, this is either a map or a weather report. Either way, the important thing is you can choose upcoming battlefield to traverse. Which battlefield would I choose? Volcanoes 2, with chests, and there's wormhole and goons. Hills, with no water. Chests, knights and goons. Woods, fields, a market, birds and goons. Let's try volcanoes. You notice that slightly different hill has made an appearance on the battlefield. You have to ask, what those are definitely volcanoes, aren't there? Yes, Your Majesty, those are volcanoes. They erupt to their surroundings and will take 6 hearts of damage and burst into flame. Hello again, a quick clarification is now necessary. When Robin says the volcano's surroundings take damage, that includes diagonal neighbors. Also, you can see when the volcanoes will erupt over here. Also, please note that volcanoes will actually match the standard hills for some reason. With this life-saving information now imparted, I will take my leave again. You notice that the battlefield is littered with a bunch of ominous. Pardon me. Are these wormholes? I'm not sure what you call them, Your Majesty. Those things are bad news. The tide seems to group them with the enemies, but never disappear when matched. Instead, they appear to merge with their neighbors, retaining every soldier those neighbors possess. If prayer actually worked, I would pray that we do not see them grow. Pardon me. Especially when they're empty. Okay. Noted. They can break houses, but it will grow when it's matched with these things, so you don't want to make them grow. Oh shit, I'm gonna die if I do that. I need to get out of here. Somehow. I was hoping it would bring some stuff down with it. What the fuck is this? Mace window and Corvy TV. Who's fucking Mace Windu? Do I even have a friend called? I do have a friend called Mace Windu. Who is this? Okay, it's probably just a CS scam artist. I need to get rid of these. I also need to get rid of these. Or at least move myself out of the way. Oh shit. Kinda cucked myself a little bit here. Another sign. Potential misunderstanding. Trebuchets. Incredible sign that predicts the wind language. It's a trebuchet. Monarchy. It's a trebuchet, bro. Alright. Upcoming battle. Alright. So that will explode, killing all of those guys, which is so good. That will explode, killing all of those guys, which is so good. Let's see what's in the chest. Bread. Alright. We're gonna need some units. First and foremost, because there's 4 guys here. Get 6 and 2 breads. Oh my god, all my units are dead. For a short period of time after the call makes each morning, it drifts through the tide alone. Interesting. This is a very cool game. I'm glad I decided to download it and play it. It's got a particular charm to it that I'm quite attracted to. It's nice. However, all good things must come to an end. And without exception, that includes the stream for tonight. So hopefully you had a fantastic time playing League of Legends with me and trying out a new game. If you did, don't forget to leave a follow. I appreciate it. Hopefully everyone has a great rest of your night. My name's Corvy. Stay safe. Don't do anything stupid. Hopefully have a fantastic one. I'll be live tomorrow. And hopefully I get to see you guys there. Alrighty guys. Have a good night, morning, whatever. My name's Corvy. Stay safe, doing anything stupid. I'll see you in the next one. Much love, everybody. Peace out, yeah? Bye! Night Greg, night Frosty, night everyone in chat who's lurking. Bye now. Bye bye. Bye now.